I have bipolar disorder and the drugs don't work. I didn't have my own opinion. They're using me. Stop blaming yourself for being depressed. But the choice is yours, of course. Oh, I have some secrets. Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lisa Grail and you're watching the most non-random channel on YouTube. If you're here, you really need this information. In part 1 of my depressive story, I told you how I got myself in such a bad state, and if you haven't watched this video yet, you can open the link in another tab of your browser. And let's move to the most interesting part of my story now. So I received some prescription for medication. It was antidepressants. Half pack of it is still at my home, called Selectra, modern generation of antidepressants with very good references. Seemed like they should make me more calm and balanced. Who knows, I don't need them anymore. And why, I should tell you right now. These antidepressants were prescribed for me because there was a suspicion of my psychiatrist that I have bipolar disorder. But finally she decided that it was just overload due to plenty of job. Okay, I started with 1 pill for a day together with some medication which pumps oxygen to my brains, and of course I read a huge list of spillover effects and I was preparing for worst. At first I felt that I became calmer, yes, and the bad negative thoughts left my mind, but I felt like a lack of oxygen and like blacking out sometimes, you know, and on top I was slightly sickened with these pills. Psychiatrist lowered the dosage for half of a pill per day, and of course she continued her psychocorrection hours with me. But the problem was that I know myself very good, and all information about perfectionism, about procrastination and throughput capacity of psyche, I learned it upside down, and you know, it wasn't new information for me. And you know, I don't know why it happened so, but I was born with very big demands to myself, very self-reflective person, and even my parents didn't force me to do anything in my life, you know. And the psychiatrist, when I told her that I learned 80 songs by heart during 1 month for my music job, she told me that even John Lennon was forgetting his own lyrics at performances. Because if I'm working hard, I'm doing maximum I can, and if I bungled my job, I feel deep dissatisfaction and I can't do anything with this. And of course, I was very patient and I was awaiting for psychiatrists to help me somehow. But it didn't happen. And you know, my visit to psychic was really much more helpful because at least she gave me some faith. And the next happened the following. Passed around 3 weeks and I was awaiting for some result to come, because as you might know, antidepressants are starting working only after 3 or 4 weeks. But nothing happened. And the drugs don't work, they just make you worse, but I know I'll see your face again. Nothing happened at all. And I was feeling like sick and weak and a little bit calmer. And I decided that I will lower my dosage to 1/4 of a pill per day, and I didn't want to visit psychiatrist anymore. Maybe I've chosen the wrong specialist or wrong treatment, maybe. And usually they recommend to test 1 more type of pills if the first type doesn't work. But after 4 weeks of this sickening procedure, I decided to stop. In parallel, I remembered that some time ago I wanted to start Kundalini yoga classes. I was making some other types of yoga from time to time, but it wasn't as attractive as mysterious Kundalini energy power, you know. And I started my research on YouTube as usual and found some interesting Kundalini yoga classes and kriyas. And I found something really shocking. Under the video with one Kundalini yoga class, I found such kind of warning. Like, please note that Kundalini yoga is forbidden for those who has epilepsy, post-operational condition, alcohol or drug intoxication, pregnancy, to be careful. And attention for those who are on antidepressants. Don't you think it's really strange? This information interested me a lot and I started practicing Kundalini yoga. But of course, it wasn't the only thing that I was doing, because I had a very strict schedule for my day. I was forcing myself to do 1 or 2 at least productive things for a day. And as I was very weak, I had no ability to do more. For example, I was making some kind of sports each day, 30 minutes. And after these 30 minutes, usually I was falling totally exhausted on my bed. And you should know that I checked my health. I visited all doctors. I made ultrasounds of genitals and women's hormones, and even I took a stool sample for helminths to exclude any disease. And of course, I recommend you, if you have any kind of malaise, you should visit all doctors you can. And I promised to myself that I will be making Kundalini yoga each day for an hour without any right to pass even a day. I couldn't stop discovering more and more exciting information about Kundalini, snake-shaped energy sleeping in the base of your spine, and in case of awakening, it rises your energy up and changes your life totally. It's like an ancient technology of soul and body improvement. It sounds mysteriously, but in fact it's not so magical, because Kundalini is technology based on holistic understanding of human's body and its functioning. And according to all representatives of Kundalini Yoga, and of course the main teacher Yogi Bhajan, who brought Kundalini Yoga to America in the 60s of 20th century, Kundalini affects on our gland system. So that every type of breath used in Kundalini Yoga, for example, breath of fire, affects on our thinking, and each gesture, posture of our hands and body movements regulates all our system of glands, expelling toxins and cleansing our lymph. From the very first day of my practice, I felt a deep satisfaction and relief, especially in Shavasana pose, when you are lying on the floor after doing some active kriyas with breath of fire. And I found some system of Kundalini Yoga by Maya Fiance. You can find any video for free on YouTube. It's not a secret nowadays. And of course, it's very important that it should be based on teachings of Yogi Bhajan. First results were like my eye view changed a lot. All colors around me, nature, became brighter and clear, and my thoughts of despair were replaced by love, resignation, and gratitude for everything I have in my life. It happened so fast, only 7 days of practice, and it was like a miracle, you know. But I don't want to make any conclusions right now, just watching my life from the sidelines. And of course, at that time, I was really afraid that this kind of apathy will come back to me, but it didn't happen so far. And I was like normal me, energetic, very funny, curious, and active. And I was so happy at that moment, so that I signed some special agreements. Of course, not with the devil, but with myself. And the main postulate of this agreement sounds like this. I will read it. I love myself, my body and soul been given me at birth to live this life. I forgive myself for the weakness and mistakes. I take care of myself and I take total responsibility for my life. I erase any bad thought when I see it appearing in my mind. It's not my thoughts. I know that everything depends on my treatment of reality. I'm sure that the universe, or any God you believe in, is guiding me to the most happiest scenario of my life. I will never let the fear destroy my life. And I want to stop here just to clear one thing about the self-responsibility. You know, I was raised in a big family, 4 daughters, and I'm the smallest one, and my parents treated me so kind that I was agreeing with everything they suggest me. For example, my mom was asking me, do you want to learn English? Of course, mom. Do you want to become a professional dancer? Yes, mom, sure. Do you want to enter University of Culture and Arts? Of course, mom, culture, arts, I'm going. And after university, my elder sister suggested me to work with her in the company, in an international company, Japanese company. So I thought, wow, it's a very good start for me, maybe after the university. I'm a young specialist and I will go, of course. So I didn't have my own opinion, my own decisions, because if you don't have any opinion, they will come to you and advise you how you should act, how you should live. And you know, I've been always dreaming to become a singer, to perform with my songs. And my story of awakening in this reality began with this. I was a logistics specialist at Toyota, and I was taking responsibility for the whole factory of seats assembly, you know. But the weird thing is that I couldn't take responsibility for my own life. You won't believe, but my depression, as I realized, was connected with this gap of my character, that I couldn't take responsibility for my life, and I'm very infantile. It's hard to admit, but yes, it is so. I've always been thinking that I'm a victim, they are using me, people want to use me, they are so cruel, and they want to see my death. And finally I told myself, this depression, apathy, they are not bringing me anything at all. So it's like swimming in the swamp. I don't want to be this poor child who's waiting for his mom to come and say, oh, my poor girl, they're so unjust, everything's gonna be all right. Yes, I want to become a parent to myself, and I know that I'm strong enough to come through everything. And I wanted to tell you, to ask you, stop blaming yourself for being depressed, because you know, I have this kind of opinion, maybe a little bit mysterious, but I want you to hear it. I guess that if you have very deep and sensitive soul, it wants you to come through different lessons. And these conditions like depression is only a lesson, because if you can fall down, you can reach the highest top as well. So that it's like examine, maybe nothing more, but you should be strong enough to go through, to break through. And I heard a lot of stories of many people who were struggling with depression, and finally they won. After this, they reached even the highest level of awareness, like enlightenment. So make your own conclusions. And what was happening after I started my Kundalini yoga classes? First of all, I forgot about the pain in my spine, because I had some problems with flexibility, and of course my energy rised up and my mood is brilliant. I have no bad days at all, and I'm very excited about my plans for the future, and I'm not afraid of anything. My self-esteem became normal, because when I was under depression, it was very hard to look straightly in the eye to a person, especially if it was a man, because I considered myself as a very ugly and disgusting woman. Moreover, I remembered about my favorite practice of curing fasting. And in May, I made 7 days on herbal mixture and 4 days on natural juices. And I will take another video, as you guessed it, about this theme of fasting. And now, let me give you a summarizing instruction how to cure yourself from the depression. Point 1. If you have any symptoms of depression, make yourself visit a specialist. If you have no money for visiting psychiatrist because it's a rather expensive thing, you can find any social program in the place you are located. Remember, there is a way. Point 2. Start medical treatment. If your condition is worse than the light level of depression, you should make it. And if you have a light level of depression, you can use psychocorrection by psychiatrist only. Point 3. Health check. Of course, you should visit all doctors you know and take all blood tests, because some diseases have the same symptoms as depression has. And I also recommend you to make magnetic resonance of your brain, because sometimes the physical injury of our brain causes different mental disorders. Point 4, time management. Plan, 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 and one more time, plan. It's very important. Even if you think it's useless things or silly things or very easy, but our psyche works like this. I cleaned my teeth. Cool. I had a walk with my friend, for example. Excellent. So we feel like satisfaction with ourselves. And of course, at first, the big capacity of job is forbidden for you. But if you will be thankful for yourself, and if you will afford yourself a rest, because your psyche needs a rest, soon you will feel better, of course. Point 5. Make decisions. Very interesting point, because it works like this. Our mind is feeling relaxed if we are making some decisions, because it gives a sign to our subconsciousness, like we're controlling our life, we're making decisions, and everything is going to be alright because we are controlling everything and we are not a victim, and we are the owner of our life. Point 6. Kundalini yoga or other type of sports you prefer, because it's very important to raise your energy up. And as a professional dancer, I may say that no sports could make me so mental relieved and mental satisfied as Kundalini yoga. But the choice is yours, of course. Point 7. Meditate and control thoughts. Stop swimming in the swamp of the negative thoughts. Watch them appearing and get them out of your head. One more thing here is you should understand and accept the idea that depression leaves you some secondary benefit, because maybe you don't want to have a stress or don't want to lose your energy on something you are not interested in. Think about it. Point 8. Good night's sleep. Of course, it's really obvious, because 8 hours are necessary. Even if you are very busy, try to go to sleep and to wake up at the same time every day. And of course, point 9, communication. Yeah, I know what you will say to me, because during depression it's very hard to communicate. It's connected with your low self-esteem. But believe me, if you have only one friend or one relative whom you will be telling about your feelings, it will help you a lot. Just keep this in mind, and maybe if you don't want to have this private contact with someone, you can find your friends on social media. You can write about your story right under this video, and we will try to help you. Let's make this exchange. Point 10. Very serious, important point. Excluding shit, like drugs, cigarettes, alcohol, even coffee, because it stimulates your nervous system. I know what I'm talking about. Yes. Oh, I have some secrets. And you can't have a healthy mind if you have this full of toxins body. And the point 11 goes straightly from the previous point. It's about healthy food, of course, about fruits, vegetables, and of course about fresh air walks, like for 7 or 10 kilometers for a day. If you have any advices as well and I didn't mention anything, please fulfill my list in the comments below. Well, I guess that's all for today. These 11 golden rules will help you to break through. And you see me now, I'm happy, I'm talking a lot, but if you saw me a half year ago, you wouldn't think I'm a good person because I hated the world. No, because I was very down, very down. But anyway, I don't remember this condition anymore, and I wish you to keep on doing little efforts each day, and you will see the way out. I believe in you. Stay true and kind. The rest things, never mind.